The following program on PBS 39 is made possible in part by Arts Weekly, celebrating regional expression, performance, and creativity, is brought to you in part by the Edward D. and Ione Auer Foundation, the Ian and Mimi Rowland Foundation, the family of Dr. Christopher and Kirsten LaSalle, and the support of viewers like you. Thank you. This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is produced in cooperation with the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design.
Welcome to Arts Weekly. I'm Melinda Haines of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Today's show is all about music, and in the second half of the show, I'll be joined by Maestro Robert Nance of the Heartland Chamber Chorale to learn about their upcoming performance schedule. But first, Will Dawson from the Wagon Wheel Theater in Warsaw is here to talk about their season and their current musical, The Sound of Music, that opens December 6th. Welcome, Will.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, I am glad to hear about what's going on over there in Warsaw. You know, the Wagon Wheel has been there for quite some time, hasn't it?
We are, this upcoming summer will be summer number 59.
Oh my gosh.
So that magical number of 6, I guess it's a magical number. It's been a long time.
That's great. And Warsaw is not too far from Fort Wayne. I mean, you know, what are we talking, 25, 30 minute drive?
You jump on Highway 30 and you're there in 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah, it's a very nice drive. Now, what do you think makes the Wagon Wheel Theater so unique? I mean, what's been keeping it going here for 59 seasons?
Yeah, you know, I think probably has that country Midwestern, I guess country Midwestern kind of hometown feel, but we also kind of offer Broadway quality shows in a small town. And then also the fact that we're a theater in the round.
Yeah, that is unique. I mean, I think a lot of people have never been in a theater, you know, that's like that. Tell me about the theater in the round and what makes that different and unique.
Yeah, you know, I think it's especially challenging for our artistic director, though he's used to it by now, to stage something at a proscenium stage. You're used to seeing that, you're used to doing that. You have sets that come in.
Yeah, how do you do that with no
You have to
curtain?
do it on very, very minimal staging, and but really when you come and you sit down in the auditorium, you can sit anywhere, you move around, and you really kind of get a different perspective every time you come to the show.
So for the director and the scenic designer, it's different for them, but what about the actors? I mean, are they used to this round stage, and what is different for them?
Yeah, I don't think the actors are ever used to the round stage, and I've heard them say that you get the fever. Yeah. So it all just kind of becomes one. You turn around in a circle, it all kind of becomes one big group of people around you. You have to be aware of the people that are behind you, and the aisles. They enter from all around the stage. But these actors come from all over the country, and they're used to doing the proscenium stage. Some have acted in the round, but for the most part, they haven't.
Well, and that they're close to the stage too. I mean, you know, the audience is pretty close, and so that's a different
absolutely.
experience.
The stage is the floor, and so the seats come up almost like a bowl. So if you're in the front row, you are right in the middle of the action.
Yeah. And these actors, you have professional actors.
We do.
Right. You know, so tell me a little bit about that, you know, where the actors come from, how long they stay with you, and how that works. Because I think a lot of people might think, oh, Warsaw, it's a community theater, but it's really not.
Sure. Yeah, we're a professional theater. What we do really is kind of go out and get some of the best up-and-coming performers at some of the best colleges in the area. So our artistic director, Scott Michaels, will go to Florida State University. He goes to Cincinnati Conservatory of Music. He makes a trip to Chicago, Western Michigan University. And really, we have such a huge amount of actors that come out and pull some of the biggest and brightest. And a lot of those actors, they go on to Broadway and on the national tours. We have former Tony winners, and it's really kind of a cool family. They stay there for the summer when we
Well,
have our
and that's
summer
what I
season.
wanted to ask about. I mean, it's kind of this training ground, and they're staying with you for is it a set period of time? Is it always X number of shows? Or?
Sure. Well, we have 6 shows during our summer season. And so we will fly, or not fly though, they'll come in for the summer season. For the most part, the majority of those actors will stay for at least the first 4 shows.
Okay,
so what happens is, like this past summer we had Shrek.
Right.
We get Shrek up after opening night, then we're going on to rehearsal of whatever the next show is. So they rehearse during the day and they perform the other show during the night. So it's amazing to me the level of energy that it takes even just to put one of these shows together.
Right.
But then to be able to do
have
2
two in their
shows
head.
simultaneously, yeah, I would lose my mind.
But that's why they're professionals.
That's why they do it, and I'm on this side of the curtain.
Yeah. Now, tell me about the new Wagon Wheel Junior program. What is that?
Well, the Wagon Wheel Junior program really kind of started several years ago. We were a for-profit at the time, but we wanted kids. We knew that there were kids in the community who wanted the experience to be an actor, wanted to experience working with our professional staff. So someone named Mickey Fisher, who I'll be happy to talk about in just a little bit, started this program where they would come in for the summer. They would for about a period of 10 days, 10 to 14 days, learn their lines and put up a full-blown musical, kind of like we do with our professional season. Well, that really took off. We had kids, we had a waiting list that would grow and grow every year. And so last year, we became a not-for-profit. And we decided we're going to put on these shows for a year during the school year. And our artistic director, Scott Michaels, we hired him full-time. And so now they come and they are able to have the experience of what the professional actors do. What's great for us is that we know that so many of these younger people are straying away from the arts. There are just so many choices.
Right.
You
can't get it all done in a school
We really
day.
look at it's exactly right. We really look at it as if we're building an audience for the future.
Right. Now, so do they have a performance coming up for this season?
The Wagon Wheel Junior, we'll have one in February, and
And
we'll also have one in March. The title has not been selected yet, but
but
I think the auditions come up in January.
And what is coming up? Oh, you said the first show, though, you haven't announced yet?
For the Wagon Wheel Junior, yeah, that's
okay.
on the horizon.
Okay.
We haven't announced it quite yet.
Well, that's going to be fun to see. Now, you're doing some collaboration with the schools in Warsaw, too. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because that's different than the Wagon Wheel Junior program.
Well, it kind of plays right into the Wagon Wheel Junior. We just want to get students involved. We believe in arts. We believe in arts education. We know that when students are enriched in the arts, their GPA level, on average goes up. And so that's very important to us as a nonprofit. We want to get students involved. And so even with our Symphony of the Lakes, which we just acquired this past summer, we want to be able to build into the schools, and the schools work with us so that we know the kids in our community, the students in our community, have an education in the arts.
Now, is the symphony going to take place at the Wagon Wheel, or is there another venue?
There will be concerts that it takes place at the Wagon Wheel. Our stage is a little bit smaller though, that we seat 800 plus. This event that we have coming up on December 17th called the Polar Express is a full-blown orchestral event. So we're pretty excited about that.
And the music from that is just so excellent.
It is. So yeah, there will be selections from the Polar Express and then other holiday traditional music. It really will be a fun evening for the whole family. But that's taking place at Warsaw Community Schools at their Performing Arts Center.
Now, The Sound of Music, though, is your next show that's coming up here at Wagon Wheel. Tell me about that.
Well, The Sound of Music, as everyone knows, it's a
Classic,
favorite.
yeah.
And you know, I always think of the holidays when I think of The Sound of Music, even though there really isn't anything that's
there's no
necessarily
holiday in it,
connecting
but,
it to the holidays. But I think just because we've grown accustomed to seeing it on TV this time of year.
Right. Now, when does the show open?
Well, it opens tomorrow night, December 6th, runs through the 22nd. They have 9 professional or public performances.
Now, is the show that you're doing the Rodgers and Hammerstein version, or is it going to be like what people are used to from seeing the Julie Andrews movie? Tell me about the production.
It's based on the Broadway stage version, Rodgers and Hammerstein version, that won a Tony Award for Best Musical that year. But you know, you see the stage version and you see the Julie Andrews movie, and they're very close. The same songs that you love Edelweiss and My Favorite Things, definitely 16 going
7
on
on
17. You could really just kind of name them all off. But
there are a few songs that are in the stage version that are not in the movie that I think sometimes take people a little bit by surprise.
There's one that Maria sings called I Have Confidence. And she actually, our actress said that that's one of her favorite songs to sing. So.
Yeah. Now, the kids who are, playing the Von Trapp children, and are they all professional actors as well who are in this?
They are actually children that have come from our Wagon Wheel Junior program.
Yeah.
So we really, the confidence level in these students that play these parts are, it's kind of cool to see them evolve as actors.
That's got to be a great experience for them. Now, let's talk about your summer series. What do you have coming up for this summer?
We are really excited about the season that we have lined up. We're opening with Mary Poppins, and that has recently just become available. It's been on Broadway for a long time. Just left the tour. So, starting with Mary Poppins, again, another Julie Andrews movie, and great soundtrack, Disney. Of course, everybody knows and loves it.
Yeah.
Catch Me If You Can is the second show.
That's based on a movie, isn't it?
It's based on the Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks movie. Interestingly enough, one of our former alum was the Leonardo DiCaprio character on the tour.
So that's a great thing. And you've got, what, Gypsy and Fiddler on the Roof?
Gypsy, Fiddler on the Roof, classics.
Yeah, Agatha Christie. What is Marvelous Wonderettes?
Marvelous Wonderettes is kind of it's a musical review. It's a period, 1930s, 1940s of 4 ladies. We just did something this past season that had 4 guys, and it really is kind of a lot like that. It's just a lot of fun. Our audience really gets into those shows. They're really kind of interactive, that last show. A
lot of harmonies and things that you just don't hear anymore. Take you back in time.
Yeah, 3 Coins in a Fountain and all the good ones.
And then the last one is Rent?
Last one is Rent.
Yeah.
So we usually have a six show series. We're doing an encore show this year. This is the first time that we've done that. Generally, the shows that we do during the summer are very family friendly.
Right.
And we wanted to do something a little bit different that would allow people to see something that they would see in New York or in Chicago or any of the bigger cities that they wouldn't necessarily see in a small town. Right. So Rent would not necessarily be for everyone.
Right.
But yeah, we're kind of looking forward to doing something a little bit different this year.
That's going to be a great show. Now, tell me again, Sound of Music opens?
Yeah, Sound of Music opens tomorrow night, December 6th. Runs through the 22nd, so almost all the way up until Christmas time.
Okay.
They can go to the website, wagonwheeltheater.org, to check out tickets.
Or give you a call, and I think we've got the phone number is up there on the screen, too.
Very good.
Well, Will, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
it's been great
so
to
much.
hear about what's going on at the Wagon Wheel.
Thanks for having us.
While we get ready for our next guest, please take a minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area. You also can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'll be right back with Maestro Robert Nance to hear more about Heartland Chamber Chorale's upcoming performances of Handel's Messiah, as well as other holiday concerts. The holidays would not be the same without a grand performance of Handel's Messiah. Heartland's stellar production returns this season, featuring internationally acclaimed soloists, the Heartland Chamber Chorale, and the Heartland Festival Chorus and Orchestra. I'm pleased to welcome Maestro Robert Nance, President and Artistic Director of Heartland, to Arts Weekly to talk about this wonderful annual tradition. Welcome, Bob.
I kind of wish it was annual, because sometimes
you don't do it every year.
Well, we've shared that with Philharmonic. They've done it some years, And when I was the director of the Philharmonic Chorus, it was interesting because it felt like every year for me because I would do it with them, and then in the off years that the Philharmonic didn't do it, we would do it. But I no longer work for them, and this festival chorus has sort of taken off, and we're excited about that. We have 24 chorus members from 24 choruses represented in the festival chorus, including, we're on campus of the University of St. Francis, and we have some of the singers from the university singers there participating with us.
Right.
Very good chorus.
So how did the festival chorus come? I mean, as opposed to just the Heartland Chamber Chorale starting out, and then how did you add the festival chorus?
Well, it's just as a matter of community outreach and education, which is one of our missions, is to be involved in the community, and we're supposed to be a resource for professional choral singing and how that helps all singing in Fort Wayne. We have 3 levels of groups. We are currently moving into a phase where we have full-time professional singers on salary and staff to do the work in our region for professional choral music. And we have our core ensemble of 24 singers, and these are all paid singers.
You're the only organization in town like that.
I think in the state, frankly.
That's what an accomplishment.
Right,
really.
the whole idea of, since we started this 17 years ago, this grand plan was to advocate for professional singers who get the same degrees in music as a keyboardist like I did.
Yeah.
So at any rate, we have that, and then we have the festival chorus. So 3 levels. Now the festival chorus are made up of volunteers, but they sing side by side with the professionals. And it really does make for an enhanced experience like none other.
Well, the sound is just amazing.
Yeah, and of course it changes as the singers change every year in the festival chorus, because we audition them every year differently, and it's always a new chorus. But we have some repeat offenders, if you will, who come back, and they do great things together. And I think this is an exceptional chorus this year. I'm very happy about that.
Well, we've got a video clip from a performance that I'd like
several years ago.
Yeah.
It actually features the same soloists that we were welcoming back, and so you'll see a précis of it.
Well,
hallelujah.
Yeah, hallelujah. Let's go to that.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I should be standing up.
Well, why didn't you? That's a grand tradition.
It is a grand tradition, and I wanted to talk about that because I had just recently learned that it was not necessarily written for the Christmas season. So let's talk about that.
Well, I mean, you mean the standing tradition of
that
standing
too.
on the Hallelujah Chorus? Well,
that's a separate
called
story.
the 7th inning stretch.
Okay.
Because, well, if you know anything about the golden mean or Fibonacci's principle, if you were to measure that on this work, the Hallelujah Chorus happens right at that moment. And I think the old story goes is that the royalty present at the premiere performance at some point after it got to be a grand tradition stood at that point. Of course, everybody's obligated to stand. Who knows what the truth is?
Right.
But
when the
fact of
king
matter is,
stands,
it is
everyone stands.
well, that's right. But the truth is, that's a good moment to stand and get the stretch. So you might as well.
So it became a tradition to stand at that point.
At that point,
Yes.
the tradition of doing this at Christmas time, I think, started because the first portion, of this Messiah, this oratorio, which is an opera with a religious subject. This is about Jesus' life. And that first part is so poignant and has such rich musical settings of the Isaiah texts that it is just exceptional to play. So many times people will do just the Christmas portion and end with the Alleluia chorus. And do it only at Christmas time. But it's a great time to do it. You could do it at Christmas, you can do it at Easter. It was probably first done in the summertime. It was done as a fundraiser for an orphanage. And for me, the grandest story is that Handel was at the end of his career. He really was not doing so hot, as it were. In his career at that point, and he needed to do something to not only keep himself busy but to make a little money.
Need a comeback.
He needed to do something. Well, and I don't think it didn't get the splash that it gets now at the time. And in fact, the great story is that he used soloists that were considered inappropriate for the subject matter because they were common singers. The soloists came from the chorus, and they were known to hang out in bars. I think it's an extraordinary tie-in to the whole subject matter that Jesus probably would have been right at home witnessing to people in the street and in a bar, and yet that's where the people came to do the initial performances, which were chamber music, by the way.
Well, that's a lovely little extra bit of history to know. So the performance,
it's folklore. I wouldn't necessarily it's historical, but yeah.
The performances are going to be when?
They're this weekend. In fact, it's Sunday night at 7:30.
December 8th.
December 8th, this Sunday. And we're going to do this in the University of St. Francis Performing Arts Center, which is the former Scottish Rite. This is a grand stage. We have several grand stages in downtown Fort Wayne, and I'm just real proud that the university has taken on the task of holding in trust this wonderful stage. And we're happy to perform there to continue to validate the fact that this is a viable place to do artistic. It's a lovely venue. But that is sponsored by the South Bend Fort Wayne Diocese here in Fort Wayne and the University of St. Francis. So their co-sponsorship is producing this Sunday night's performance. Then on Monday night at 7 o'clock at DeKalb High School, and that auditorium is wonderful. We're going to recreate it again for our neighbors to the north.
Oh, that's great
So you have two opportunities to catch the performance.
And a little bit of a community outreach just outside of Fort Wayne a little bit. And then you've got some holidays concerts coming up too. Tell me about those.
Well, we like to call them concerts that are not the usual fare. And, we do need to represent the best of choral music and vocal professional music. So we do a very wide gamut. And in our holiday program, that is more intensified because this is the holidays. When you go to a holiday concert, you expect to hear sleigh bells ring, are you listening? You expect to hear the traditional carols, and then there's so much being written that is never really brought to the surface because it doesn't have that sort of pop cutting edge. And so when you come to this, you're going to be inspired by the wonderful blend of these voices, and you're going to hear good traditional carols in fresh new arrangements. You're going to hear brand new music that's being written for professional voices for Christmas. And then you're going to hear PDQ Bach. We have fun. We do like to have fun. So.
And when are these concerts going to be?
Well, the first concert's on December 15th. It's a Sunday. Sunday afternoon at Plymouth Congregational Church downtown. Wonderful sonic venue.
Oh, it's lovely, yeah.
And then we will go to Auburn Presbyterian Church there in downtown Auburn. A small, quaint church, but also a very nice venue. And then for the first time, we're going to do a concert in Roanoke. At the Cottage Events Center there, and that's going to, we have a wide variety of repertoire, but that will err on the side of being a little more pop, if you will, because of the venue.
Is that downtown Roanoke? I'm not familiar with that one.
Well, it's a new event center. It's sort of like going to a VFW, but it's you'll get to be up close and personal around tables and enjoy some food and drink, which we can't do in the church settings.
Right.
So
Well,
it'll be an interesting change up in the venue. And we're going to be more like the bar singers.
Yeah. Now, you have a complete orchestra that plays with the Messiah performance. And do they come to the other holiday concert as
No,
well?
the holiday concerts are all a cappella, and sometimes will involve harp or piano. It just depends on the repertoire. Sometimes guitar, but in this case it's all a cappella, and then there are a few pieces accompanied by piano.
And so how many performers are in the holiday concert then? Is it
There are
the core
24,
group, the
yes,
24?
the core group, the 24 paid
Okay,
singers.
so
And we have 87, I believe, in the festival chorus, and then the full professional orchestra. I think they're all members of the Fort Wayne Philharmonic with a couple of exceptions. Great players, and so that makes up the Heartland Festival Chorus and Orchestra.
well, then we really feel like Christmas has arrived. So it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Right.
Now, remind us again, the Messiah concerts are?
This Sunday, December 8th at 7:30 p.m. at the former Scottish Rite, now known as the University of St. Francis Performing Arts Center. And then Monday night at the DeKalb High School at 7 p.m. That'll be at 7 p.m. in DeKalb. So you get your tickets online. You see the numbers probably on screen.
Right.
And
Great.
give us a call.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, hope you enjoy it.
Thank you for being
Thank you,
here.
Melinda.
I'm Melinda Haines with the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Nationally, PBS is America's largest stage for the performing arts. Locally, PBS 39 connects you to our region's arts and events here on Arts Weekly. All this is possible because of the lead role you play through your financial support of this station. Make your best donation to PBS 39 today. Go online to WFWA.org or call 866-969-2721. Thanks to your gifts, PBS 39 is your ticket to inspiration and great arts. And please tune in next time on Arts Weekly when we'll hear about 2 local holiday productions from David Blackwell and Susan Yale of the Fort Wayne Community Band and Leslie Horman and Harvey Cox from Fort Wayne Youth Theater. For up-to-the-minute arts updates, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and be sure to join us here live Thursday evenings at 7:30 on PBS 39. Thank you for watching Arts Weekly.
The preceding program on PBS 39 was made possible in part by Arts Weekly, celebrating regional expression, performance, and creativity, is brought to you in part by the Edward D. and Ione Auer Foundation, the Ian and Mimi Rowland Foundation, the family of Dr. Christopher and Kirsten LaSalle, and the support of viewers like you. Thank you.